What's going on, guys? Olympus Gaming back again with another video. Today is going to be more like a discussion style video. I'm not scripting this out. I'm literally just sitting here at my desk with a cup of coffee just talking into my mic. But today I just wanted to kind of highlight the 35 years of Mario with the release of 3D All-Stars. I just wanted to take some time and reflect back on my personal favorite Mario titles from each console generation. So, hopefully you guys will enjoy this list. And I also want to hear what you guys have to say. Like, I want you guys to drop your comments down below and let me know what your personal favorite games are. But how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through each console generation, and I am just going to showcase and highlight and kind of talk about my personal favorite games from that particular console. So if your favorite game doesn't make the list, that's okay. That is why I want you guys to drop the comments down below and kind of get involved with the conversation, and we can have that down in the comment section. So let me know what you guys think, and without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so obviously we're going to start with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the very first home console by Nintendo. So when I look at this era and I look at the games that were available on it, the number one game for me that sticks out, and even still to this day is one of my favorite games of all time, is Super Mario Bros. 3. So if you guys follow me on Twitch or you've been following my YouTube for a while, you know that I did not grow up as a Nintendo kid. I grew up as a Sega kid. I had Sega Genesis and played a lot of Sonic and, Comic Zone, Streets of Rage, stuff like that. So, but when I was in elementary school, my mom and my parents, they used to work, later hours. So they had like the after school program. And really back then, the after school program was just really a place for, kids to do their homework. We had snacks, we used to interact. And, one of the things that we had was, or at least the school had, was an NES. And on that NES, they had Super Mario Bros. 3. And that was really my first time being exposed to this particular title. And what I loved about Super Mario Bros. 3, not only did I love the graphics, even to this day, I think the NES, this is probably one of the best looking NES games to date. Like, it still looks good today. But I just remember playing, that first level in Super Mario Bros. 3, and you getting the Tanuki leaf and, pressing the button to continuously fly up and get the extra life at the top, like little stuff like that, and the different power-ups that you had access to. And I love how the levels were kind of broken up, and a lot of the things that came from Super Mario Bros. 3 is still, pretty much the blueprint to how Mario games are set up now, with the world progressions and the level tropes and things like that. So Mario Bros. 3 would definitely be, my favorite game from the NES era. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think about Super Mario Bros. 3, and where do you rank it in terms of 2D Mario? For me, this is definitely one of the best games of all time, and even to this day, I can still recommend this to the highest degree. All right, let's move on to the Game Boy. All right, now looking at the original Game Boy era, growing up, I did not own the original Game Boy. I didn't get my first Game Boy until the Game Boy Color. But yeah, with the original Game Boy, the game that stands out to me is Super Mario Land 2, the 6 Golden Coins. Now, I played this on the 3DS Virtual Console a while back, and I really, really had a lot of fun with this game. Like, I was really surprised, the quality of this game, this being a Game Boy handheld title. This game is actually really fun, and I feel like this game is not a game a lot of people talk about, and I don't necessarily know why. Like, when people mention 2D Mario, you do hear the typical, Mario World, Mario 3, Mario, the original, stuff like that. But I feel like Super Mario Land 2 should also be in that conversation. Not only is it a very fun game to play, but it also introduces one of my favorite Nintendo villains ever, which is Wario. Well, I don't know if this is the game that introduced him, but this is the game that a lot of people was exposed to him for the first time. So yeah, man, Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins. I love this game. It is so fun. It is one of the games that I do play on occasion whenever I have my 3DS, active. It is a fun game to just boot up and just go through. So yeah, I highly recommend you guys, if you have not played it and you own a 3DS, give this game a shot. You may really like it. Let's move on. All right, as we look at the Super Nintendo era, this is another console I did not grow up with as a kid. This was a console I had to revisit later on as an adult and really kind of play that back catalog of games, which is an amazing console. But the two games that come to mind for Mario for the Super Nintendo is number one, Super Mario World. Now, a lot of people may argue this is the best 2D Mario. I would argue Super Mario Bros. 3 kind of edges it out, but I can definitely understand the argument. Number one, this game looks great. Even today, this game looks amazing. I love the overall aesthetic of this game. The colors really pop. This game introduced Yoshi, had a lot of cool mechanics. You're out of the Mushroom Kingdom. This is a great time to play. And I feel like, you know, with Super Mario World, it is one of those games where you can pick up and play and have a great time. I feel like the difficulty is right at that sweet spot where it's not too easy, but it's not too hard at the same time, if you know what I mean. And the second game that I wanted to highlight here was Super Mario RPG. Now, if you guys follow my channel, you know I recently did a review on that game, and I like it. It was a very risky, I would assume it was a really risky thing for Nintendo to do back then, but you know, seeing how RPGs were one of the defining genres on the Super Nintendo, this was a great opportunity for Mario to have visibility in that genre, and it paid off. Mario RPG is one of the best RPGs on the platform, and I kind of laid out all my thoughts in that review, so I will put a card up at the top if you guys want to check that out. But Super Mario RPG is a game I still recommend to this day, so if you guys have a Super Nintendo or you have means to play this game, I highly recommend that you do. Let's move on to the N64. So as we move on to the Nintendo 64, my pick for this one is actually not going to be Mario 64 or Mario Kart 64. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for that, and a lot of you guys are going to be in the comments saying how wrong I am about that, but you have to understand, with the N64, that was the generation that I did not have much exposure to, and even when I went back to those games, I've already played the later games in the series for, you know, Mario Galaxy, you know, Mario Kart and all that. So for me, the standout game on the N64 for Mario is Paper Mario. Now, if you don't know what Paper Mario is an RPG. It was originally supposed to be Super Mario RPG 2, but it got repurposed and made into Paper Mario, and I feel like Paper Mario, you know, it does play it a little bit safe in comparison to Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, but I feel like a lot of the mechanics that was introduced in Super Mario RPG was refined here. You know, the timed hits with the blocking and all that, and also holding the control stick back to power up your hammer and letting it go right at the, you know, right time in order to get the optimal hit, and the same thing with the partner characters. I thought Paper Mario was excellent. Still one of my favorite Mario games to this day. It is definitely my standout pick for the Nintendo 64. Let's move on. All right, now we're gonna take a small look at the Game Boy Color. Now, I know I said I did not grow up with home Nintendo consoles, but I did have the handhelds, and the Game Boy Color was something I put a lot of hours in, especially with games like Pokemon, you know, Red, Blue, and Yellow, and also Gold and Silver. But one game that I did get one Christmas for my Game Boy Color was the Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, and I thought this was an excellent port of the original game. This is actually how I primarily played Mario 1. Back when I was a kid, it was on the Game Boy Color with this collection. Not only does the collection, you know, kind of enhances things a little bit with the original game, but it also included additional mini games and different little gameplay elements added in for you to enjoy. So I remember having a lot of fun with Mario Deluxe on the Game Boy Color, and I think it's a game, you know, if you're looking to play the first game, this will be a very solid choice. And also, it's just something about the artwork for this game, like the cover art, that is just really nostalgic for me, and I just love it. So my pick for the Game Boy Color, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Alright, as we move on to the Game Boy Advance. So the Game Boy Advance is when I really started to explore the different options in terms of games. You know, my Game Boy Color was primarily used for Pokemon, but even though I had that Mario game, it was mainly used for Pokemon Gold and Silver, let's just be honest. But the Game Boy Advance, I really started to branch out and play other games. And I remember in terms of Mario, they were starting to port over a lot of the older games to the handhelds. You know, games like Mario 3 and Mario World and Yoshi's Island, things like that. I just remember those having really confusing titles, I would say that. But as far as the Game Boy Advance, when I take a look back at the games that I personally enjoyed, two games automatically come to mind. The first game being Mario Kart Super Circuit. Now, like I said, I did not grow up as a Nintendo kid, so many of the Mario Karts, like the original SNES or Mario Kart 64, I kind of missed out on. I didn't really, you know, play those games back then. But when I got the Game Boy Advance, you know, I was essentially just getting everything on the shelf. So Mario Kart Super Circuit was a game I got for my birthday, and I just remember really enjoying it. And even today, when I go back to the originals, Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, and I go back to Super Circuit, I will say I prefer Super Circuit. If, you know, Nintendo decides to make another Mario Kart in that style, You know, I would assume Super Circuit would be the one they would base it off of, and that's just me. And I know in the Mario Kart community, you know, Super Circuit is kind of considered one of the lower ranking ones, but I don't know. I personally enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun time, you know, playing Super Circuit with friends and just playing it on car rides and trying to unlock everything. And the second game, of course, is my favorite Mario RPG ever, which is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Now, Superstar Saga to me is what a lot of people say is like with Super Mario RPG to them, that is what Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is to me. This being really the first Mario RPG I really got invested in, I guess for me it could be nostalgia, but I just love this game. The partner system with Luigi, the different bro moves you can pull off, the villain that you fight, the battle system, just even the writing, everything about this game, it was just so good. Even to this day, when we have the remake on 3DS, it's still a very fun time to play. So, you know, if you were to ask me my opinion, you know, what is the best Mario RPG, I'm definitely going to point you in the direction of Superstar Saga. All right, let's move on to the GameCube. All right, now we're looking into the Nintendo GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube was my first Nintendo home console. Yes, I owned the handhelds, but in terms of the home consoles, the ones you plug up to the television, it was the GameCube that really kind of pushed my Nintendo fandom over the top. So I got introduced to the GameCube. One day I was going over my best friend's aunt house, and my best friend, I live in Florida, shout out to him. I went over to my best friend's aunt house, and I remember him having a GameCube. And I remember seeing the commercials, you know, I remember seeing the Sonic Adventure 2 commercial for it. I remember seeing a couple other commercials for the GameCube, but I never saw one in person. So when I went over to his house, you know, me and him, you know, kind of a backstory here, I don't want to get too much on a tangent. We connected over Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, he was the Nintendo kid, but he would come over my grandparents' house because my grandmother and his aunt was really good friends. So he would come over my grandmother's house, and I had the Sega Genesis, and we became friends from there. We was playing Sonic 2, and it was just a fun time. And when I would go over his place, you know, he was primarily the Nintendo, so I would get my Super Nintendo N64 fix from there. And so that's kind of how that relationship happened there. But when Sonic came to the GameCube, that kind of brought us together and made me go all in on the GameCube. So one birthday, that same year actually, my mom got me a black Nintendo GameCube with Star Fox Adventures, and I was sold. So anyway, let's not get too much of a tangent on that. As far as the Mario titles that I enjoyed on the GameCube, I'm just going to go down the list that I have written here. So the number one game, we're going to just get this one out the way, is Mario Sunshine. Now with the release of the 35th anniversary game, Mario Sunshine is back. A lot of people are playing it for the first time, but I remember playing Mario Sunshine and really enjoying what I played. You know, the flood mechanic, you know, you using this essentially like this jetpack or this water gun on Mario's back to clean up, you know, this town or this resort area. And I thought it was really cool. Like, I had a lot of fun with the game itself. As a kid, I did not beat this game. I didn't actually beat this game until I revisited it as an adult. And you know, I will save my thoughts in depth for the eventual review that we're gonna have for Mario Sunshine. So, but I did have a lot of fun on Mario Sunshine. It is actually my first 3D Mario game that I ever played. So that may have a factor there as well. Also on the GameCube, I played tons of Mario Kart Double Dash. Oh yes, Mario Kart Double Dash. I have said it on Twitch, and I'll say it here, is my personal favorite Mario Kart game. Now, I know a lot of people says Mario Kart 8 is the best, and I'm not going to disagree with that. Mario Kart 8, from a mechanic standpoint, is great. But in terms of birthday parties, get together with friends, the amount of hours I put in, Double Dash will always have a special place with me. You know, I love the two-car mechanic, you know, switching between two characters, picking particular characters to have certain special abilities, like. And I also feel like to this day that Mario Kart Double Dash had the best selection of courses in the entire Mario Kart franchise. But that's just me. Speaking of get-togethers and parties, you know, this was my first introduction to Mario Party. And when I say Mario Party, the two games that I primarily played was Mario Party 4 and 5. You know, during my birthday parties, my mom would have these big get-togethers at our house, and my friends would come over. And my best friend that I told you about, who put me onto the GameCube, you know, he was a huge Nintendo fan, so he would come over. I would call him, like, prior to his mom bringing him over, like, yo, bring over Mario Party. And, you know, he would always bring over Mario Party 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 to me, it may be nostalgia because I have so many fond memories with friends playing Mario Party, but I love 4 and 5. Like, it is something about 4 and 5 that just brings me back to a time when I was a kid. So Mario Party 4 and 5 is definitely on the list of the games I want to highlight here, just from nostalgia. And of course, last but not least, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. As I guys told you, I love Mario RPGs, and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is generally considered the best Paper Mario game in the series. You know, whenever I decide to do a review on that game, I'm going to have to reanalyze it because it has been a long time since I played it, but I do remember this being a vast improvement over the N64 title. So I'm going to save in-depth thoughts of that game for the eventual review, but I just wanted to highlight it here as one of my personal favorite Mario games. So that being said, let's move on to the Nintendo DS. Okay, now we're looking at the Nintendo DS. The Nintendo DS is the dual screen console that Nintendo had. It was a super cool console. I remember when it first came out and just seeing the commercials for it and just really wanting to get my hands on it. So again, on another birthday year, you know, my mom literally just asked me like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? Because I was one of those kids where my birthday was so close to Christmas that a lot of times my parents would just combine the gifts I would get. So usually, you know, instead of getting me games, you know, sometimes they'll just say, hey, if I buy you this console, that is your birthday and your Christmas. You know, so I got the Nintendo DS with a couple games that year, and I was super happy about it. You know, I had the silver Nintendo DS, and as far as the Mario titles, one game I want to highlight is Mario 64 DS. This was actually the first game that I got for my DS, and I think it was a launch title. But I remember playing this actually being, you know, my real first experience with Mario 64. You know, I played this version before I played the original N64 version, so a little interesting there. So I feel like this game had a lot of great things going for it. You know, I love the fact that, you know, Mario 64 on the DS, you could play as Wario, Yoshi, Luigi, and Mario, and they all had their unique characteristics about the characters. I thought that was really well done. The only issue I had with the game, well, you had to control Mario and the gang with the D-pad on a 3D plane, and that never works. You know, Mario 64, from my understanding, was originally developed to utilize the analog stick. Well, in the DS version, they decided like, hey, let's have you control them with the D-pad. And if you guys know anything about platformers, you have to be precise, and using a D-pad on a fully 3D game is just not a good experience. Now, playing it on the 3DS kind of alleviates the issues, but you know, from a control standpoint, I will say the original N64 version does control better than the DS version. But nonetheless, I had fun with it, and I also like the mini games that came with the 64 DS. You know, very similar to Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on the Game Boy Color. Nintendo added in some additional content in form of mini games and art and things like that to the package here that made the game, you know, kind of fill it out a bit. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I remember playing the game with Yoshi when you're sitting on top of the castle, peeling off the lions, like the little flower pieces. Do you love me? Do you love me not? So little stuff like that, man. I do have some memories with that. But moving on, the next game that I had was Mario Kart DS. Now, a lot of people consider this to be the best Mario Kart in the franchise. And I believe this was the first one to introduce online connectivity. So I did have some fun with that. As far as the courses, though, the only one I really can recall, honestly, was Waluigi's Pinball. And, you know, in comparison to the other Mario Kart games, this one, honestly, I played the least of, and I don't necessarily know why. So I don't necessarily have the same love for Mario Kart DS as a lot of people. I will acknowledge that it is a great game, and the times that I did have it and playing online with, you know, different people, it was a fun time. So Mario Kart DS is definitely on that list. Unfortunately, when I had a DS, I missed out on the follow-up Mario and Luigi games, so they're not quite here, but we're gonna get to one of them later. All right, let's move on to the Nintendo Wii. All right, now we're looking at the Nintendo Wii. Now, if you guys remember when the Nintendo Wii was released, this console was literally sold out everywhere. Like, just like how the Switches are sold out everywhere right now, the Nintendo Wii was pretty much the same way. I remember this thing being impossible to find when it first came out. But guess what? My best friend that I told you about back in Florida, who was the Nintendo kid, he got his day one. I think his mom stood in line for it, and my mom was not willing to do the same, and I don't blame her. Like, there was people camping out at Walmart and Best Buy for like days to get this thing. So I didn't really get a Wii until later. Like, I think I got a Wii right around the time, I want to say, Brawl was coming out. Yeah. So anyway, in terms of the Mario games that I enjoyed on the platform, there's 4. So obviously we're going to get the big 2 out of the way. Mario Galaxy 1 and Mario Galaxy 2. I am currently playing Mario Galaxy on Twitch right now. So if you want to check me out on there, I will leave a link down in the description for you guys to follow me on Twitch. And we're actually playing through the 35th anniversary version of Mario Galaxy. But anyway, Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 were games that I spent so much time on. And I've said this on Twitch. Mario Galaxy, to me, is what made me kind of fall back in love with video games. Because you have to remember, by the time I played this, I had an Xbox 360. You know, I could get a Wii, but I did have a 360. And the PS3 I did not have at that time. So on the 360, I was kind of introduced to like more of the mature titles, you can say. You know, your Gears of Wars, your Call of Duties, you know, your big time shooters, right? You know, a lot of black and gray, a lot of dark games there. But Super Mario Galaxy, when I played it for the first time, it was such an experience. And even to this day, like, revisiting it now after all these years, I still feel the same way about it. And the fact that they upgraded to HD made it even better. But, you know, Super Mario Galaxy, it was such a unique, immersive, magical, amazing experience. I mean, I'm going to save you guys can obviously tell I love Mario Galaxy, but I'm gonna say my full thoughts on the first game when the review comes out. But just know that Mario Galaxy, I will say this now, is probably the best 3D Mario game ever created, in my opinion. Now, Super Mario Galaxy 2, on the other hand, you know, they followed up with this one, and it took me a while to buy it because back then Nintendo were not lowering their prices. Like, Mario Galaxy 2 was out for like years, and it was still like $50. But I eventually got Mario Galaxy 2, and from a level design standpoint, I did have a lot more fun with Galaxy 2. You know, you had Yoshi, you had different, you had different mechanics like Cloud Mario and stuff like that. I do feel the level design in Galaxy 2 was stronger than it was in Galaxy 1. But on the flip side of that, Galaxy 1 was more of it had more substance in terms of the experience, if that makes any sense. So, but both games are phenomenal. If you have access, well, you have access to Mario Galaxy 1 now with the Switch release. But if you have access to the Galaxy 2, I highly recommend you play that as well. To me, like I said, it has better level design, but Mario Galaxy 1 has better, experience. The next game that I'm going to highlight here is New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and I kind of wish I mentioned this on the DS because I did have this game, but I played New Super Mario Bros. Wii a lot with friends because it introduced the co-op, and I had a lot of fun with this. You know, when it comes to 2D Mario, I don't have that much nostalgia for it, but I do enjoy it. So Super Mario Bros. Wii was a very refreshing game. You know, around this time we kind of saw a resurgence of older platformers coming back. You know, games like Rayman Origins, we saw Donkey Kong Country Returns, and now we have New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which kind of brought back the whole 2D platformer thing. And if you guys follow this channel, you know I love platformers. So nothing bad to say about that one. It is a game that I played a lot on the Wii, so I'm going to highlight it here. And last but not least, Mario Kart Wii. Now, as far as online connectivity, playing with friends, this is probably one of the Mario Karts next to Double Dash that I played a lot. Nintendo introduced a lot of different ways to control this. You can use the little steering wheel. I remember them advertising that quite a bit. You can also use like the Wiimote and Nunchuck, but my preferred control method on any Nintendo console, even to this day, is the Pro Controller. So I used to play with the Pro Controller a lot, and I also like the little trick mechanic that they had baked into the game. It kind of added, some I don't want to say depth, but it kind of added a new element to Mario Kart that made it even more fun to play. So Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and Mario Kart Wii are the games I'm highlighting on the Nintendo Wii. Now I know you guys, you guys are probably like, why is he talking about, Super Strikers or tennis? I didn't really play the Mario sports games, so they're not really on the list. Sorry. All right, let's move on to the 3DS. All right, now we're looking at the Nintendo 3DS, one of my personal favorite handheld consoles ever. I played the hell out of the 3DS. The 3DS had a lot of great games for me. You know, not only did I get my Mario fix, but we got remakes of Star Fox 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. There was so many, you know, great titles that got brought over to the Nintendo 3DS, and they weren't just straight up ports, they were actually enhancements and remakes. So the 3DS had some really great games on it, you know, not just remakes, but also had some original games that I really enjoy, you know, Kingdom Hearts, Dream Drop Distance, so on and so forth. But in terms of the Mario titles that I played on the 3DS primarily, the number one is Mario 3D Land. Now, Mario 3D Land to me was very impressive at the time. I remember seeing trailers for it and, you know, seeing Mario run around in full 3D, and now the Nintendo 3DS had like a joystick on it, so the control was so much better here than I was saying Mario 64 DS. So Mario 3D Land, the way that I look at the 3D Land or World series, they're kind of like hybrid games. They kind of retain the same format and structure as a 2D Mario game, but they add the 3D elements. So it's kind of like if Nintendo took, you know, Mario 1 and 3 and just, you know, gave them a full 3D makeover. That's essentially what 3D Land is to me. You had the Tanuki Leaf, you had your, you know, your power-ups and things like that. And 3D Land was a fun time. So I remember playing this game quite a bit. It is a bit on the easy side, but if you beat the game, you know, you could definitely unlock those harder difficulties. But yeah, 3D Land, great game. Nothing to complain there. Also on the 3DS, I got back into the Mario and Luigi series. Now on the DS, I did miss out on Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story and so on and so forth. But on the Nintendo 3DS, I did play a lot of Mario Luigi Dream Team and also Mario and Luigi, the remake of Bowser's Inside Story. I love both games. You know, I know a lot of people consider Bowser's Inside Story to be the best one. Debatable. You know, I will have to revisit the game, you know, kind of get my opinion on it. And they also did a remake of Superstar Saga. Unfortunately, I just never picked that one up. I just never got around to it. And also with Superstar Saga on the 3DS, I just love the Game Boy Advance sprites so much. The Game Boy Advance, that I'm pretty content with having that version. But if you guys say that the 3DS remake is if you say the 3DS remake is worth picking up and looking at for the extra content, I'm totally down to take a look at it. But anyway, so yeah, Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story and Mario Luigi Dream Team, those are two games that I played a lot on the 3DS. You know, I love my Mario RPGs, so those are definitely games I want to highlight here. And also, last but not least, Mario Kart 7. This is another game that I purchased on the 3DS. This game was not as memorable as previous Mario Karts, and even now, besides like driving underwater and the hang glider, I don't really remember many courses from Mario Kart 7. No, like even I'm trying to think now, I'm kind of drawing a blank here. So, but Mario Kart 7, you know, it's your standard Mario Kart on the 3DS. So of course I gotta highlight it here. So if there's any games that you guys liked on the 3DS, drop a comment down below. All right, let's move on to the Wii U. All right, now we're looking at the Nintendo Wii U. Now, I will go on record and say I was one of the biggest supporters and promoters of the Nintendo Wii U when it was out. You know, when it came out, I already had a job, so I already had kind of income coming in. So I was able to purchase a PS4, an Xbox One, and a Nintendo Wii U. And I would tell you, as somebody who actually owned and played all three of those consoles, the Nintendo Wii U is my personal favorite, just based on the type of games that I enjoy playing. So the Wii U to me was super underappreciated. You know, people just bashed the Wii U. Nintendo had horrible marketing for it, but that's a whole nother video. But anyway, when it comes to the Wii U, it did have a couple great Mario titles here that I would like to highlight. The first one being the launch title, New Super Mario Bros. U. Now, I will say, personally, when I look at all the New Super Mario Bros. Games that I played, or just pretty much all of them, I played the one on 3DS, I played the one on Wii, DS, all that. I would say New Super Mario Bros. U was by far one of if not the best new 2D Mario game. Like, I really enjoyed what they did here. And mind you, this was the first time we saw Nintendo officially jump from, you know, standard definition 480p up to high definition. So, you know, the game really benefited from that. You know, you get that first initial shock about, wow, Nintendo's finally made that jump to HD, and it shows. This game is gorgeous. I love the gameplay. This game also had, I guess you could say, DLC or expansion in the form of Super Luigi U, which was a harder version of Mario U. It had a couple new elements there as well, but I enjoyed the games. And now this game also got ported over to the Switch, and I think it's called Super Mario Deluxe U. No, Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. There we go. But yeah, very fun game. So if you have a Switch, definitely give this game a shot. If you were ever curious about, you know, the 2D Mario series and you want to play one of the newer titles in the franchise, definitely give New Super Mario Bros. U a shot. Okay, the next game I would like to highlight is Mario 3D World. Now, I've done a review on this, and I'll put a card up at the top. I love 3D World. When 3D World came out, I remember seeing the trailer for it initially and being like, it just looks like a console version of 3D Land. But there was that one trailer they put out that kind of showed off the elements that's going to be in 3D World, like the Mario Kart inspired courses, the cat suit, so on and so forth. And I was sold. It's just something about that game. I was just like, this is it. When I got my hands on it, oh my god, I played this game so much. Even with co-op with friends, like, this game is a fun time. And the fact that this is finally getting a port over to Switch with added content, best believe I am getting that day one. I love Mario 3D World. It is one of my personal favorite Mario games ever. That's how much I love it. Like, oh man. I know some people bash it because it's super linear. It's not like a traditional 3D Mario where you can kind of like just go all around and do what you want to do. But still, I love 3D World. 3D World is such an amazing game. Anyway, moving on, we have Mario Maker, which is actually really cool. Now, me personally, when it comes to games like this, you know, user-generated content, whether it's Little Big Planet, Dreams on PS4, and Mario Maker, I am not a creator. I am not. I am not going to sit there and make a full-on course and make levels. No. The reason I buy these games, though, is to see what other people create. And I think that is the beauty of it, that, you know, Nintendo essentially gave the fan base the tools to make these 2D levels. And boy, did I spend so much time in Mario Maker. I just love going in on the level, like the level selector, and just playing like the top rated levels or just random levels. And then there was a community aspect to it as well, because people would actually post their level codes on like different forums and Miiverse and things like that, so you could check their levels out. So there was a bit of a community there. Unfortunately, due to the Wii U underperforming, this game I felt like did not get the love that it deserved, you know? And plus, back then Nintendo had like these weird YouTube and Twitch policies where you couldn't, you couldn't post their games without being in the partner program, and you couldn't stream their games. And I feel like that kind of really hurt the game a lot, because if Nintendo did not have those policies in place, I do believe that more people would have been put on to Mario Maker, and that could have, maybe not by much, but that could have kind of boosted up the Wii U's sales a little bit. But anyway, now let's move on to the Nintendo Switch. All right, now we're looking at the Nintendo Switch, the modern Nintendo console. This is a runaway success, very much like the original Wii and quite opposite of the Wii U. The Switch has phenomenal marketing, and of course, it's the Nintendo console, so they're gonna put out some Mario content. So I'm gonna highlight some of my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch for Mario, and we're gonna have a discussion about it. So the first game I wanna talk about is Mario plus Rabbids. Now, Mario plus Rabbids, it's a very interesting game, because I remember when they first revealed this, I kind of wrote it off because I remember the Rabbids being extremely annoying in the Wii era. Even though I've had friends tell me that the Rabbids games are not bad. They were like little fun party games. But anyway, when I heard Mario and the Rabbids were doing like some sort of collaboration game, I automatically thought it was going to be like some party, motion control filled game. But boy, was I wrong. I remember when the reviews came out for this game, and they were like raving reviews. They were great reviews, and people were telling me, no, it's like a strategy game. So I remember one day I had to go to Best Buy. I think I had to pick up something from there. I think it was like a computer part or something. But they had Mario plus Rabbids on sale. I think they were selling it for like $25. I think it was like some sort of like weekly promotion they had. And I had enough reward points where I can get it for a little bit of nothing. So that's exactly what I did. I picked up what I needed and also got Mario plus Rabbids. When I got the game home, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Like, playing that game is really fun, and I actually played it a couple times on my Twitch channel. And I love just sitting there, just trying to figure out the best way to position my characters in order to get the victory on the board. If you don't know, it's like I said, it's like a tactical strategy RPG type game. So if you like games like XCOM or Final Fantasy Tactics, you may actually really enjoy Mario plus Rabbids. I think the mechanics are simplified a bit and it's more accessible to the average player. So if you're not traditionally a fan of these, if you're not traditionally a fan of this genre, I feel like Mario plus Rabbids has enough there for you to enjoy. So give it a, definitely if you could catch it on sale, give it a try. You may really enjoy it. The next game I want to talk about is Mario Tennis Aces. Now I actually did a review on this, so I'm not going to go too deep. I will leave a card at the top. But Mario sports games has always been a fun time. I remember playing the ones on N64 and GameCube. Now I didn't own these games. That's why I did not put them on the list, because I didn't really play them enough to really say it was one of my favorites. But Mario Tennis Aces I do own, and I made a review about it, and I find it a great time. If you want my in-depth thoughts about it, just check that out. But I wanted to highlight it here and tell you guys, if you want a good Mario sports games or just a good sports title in general on your Switch, give Mario Tennis Aces a try. The next game is Super Mario Maker 2. Now, Super Mario Maker 2, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this one did not have as much hype around it as the first one. I know Nintendo kind of messed up with the first one by not allowing people to make content about it or not being out to stream it on Twitch and stuff like that. But Mario Maker 2, I have the game and I still enjoy, playing different people's courses, but I don't feel like people talk about this one as much as they did the first one. And that may just be me. So if you guys are really deep into the Mario Maker community, definitely drop a comment down below and let me know if I'm wrong about that. But Mario Maker 2, again, user-generated courses. They added, support for 3D World. They added more elements. They added, they're constantly updating the game. So it is a fun time to have Mario Maker 2. And sometimes I just love popping in just to see what people can create on these games. The next game is a game I reviewed recently and gave a lot of praise to, is Paper Mario Origami King. Now, you guys know I love me some RPGs, especially the Mario ones. And I will say this, Paper Mario Origami King was such a shock to me because I did miss out on Color Splash and Sticker Star, and I remember hearing people say how terrible those games are. It doesn't have a proper partner system, and it's not a traditional Mario RPG, blah, blah, blah. So going into Origami King, I was a little skeptical, to be honest with you, but boy, did I love this game. This game was so fun. The aesthetically is beautiful, it's very colorful, the mechanics are addicting, the battle system is great, everything about this game I love, even the music, I did a full-on review just loving on this game so much, so go check that out. But if you have a Nintendo Switch and you're on the fence about Paper Mario Origami King, don't be. I am telling you, it is a phenomenal game and you all should play it. So yes, Origami King. And last but not least, Mario Odyssey. So this game got initially a lot of praise because it was going back to the non-linear style of Mario games, something we haven't seen since Sunshine. Mario Galaxy was a little bit more linear, but with Sunshine and Mario 64, you can kind of do it in your own way, I should say that. But with Mario Odyssey, kind of went back to that. You kind of have like these big open levels that you kind of explore and find different moons and do different challenges and things like that. And what's really cool about this game is the way that it handles power-ups, where you don't get traditional mushroom power-ups, but instead you have Cappy, which allows Mario to essentially possess an enemy that is on the field, which is your power-up. And I thought that was a really, really interesting thing to do. I do find that very innovative, and I like that quite a bit. Now, for whatever reason, let me also mention that you can also customize Mario. You can put him in different costumes or different outfits and things like that, and that's always a fun thing to do in video games. But I will say, for whatever reason, Mario Odyssey, as much as I liked the game, I did not have that same feeling I had when I played Galaxy for the first time, or when I played Sunshine for the first time. I feel like Mario Odyssey is a great game. It got a lot of accolades and things like that, and I do enjoy it. And I actually made a review on that too, and I'll link it somewhere on this video. But for some reason, it just did not grab me like the other 3D Mario games did. And maybe I'm not the only one who feels that way. I know there's some people out there who really, really, really enjoy Odyssey. And some people who feel very similar to me. So I think your mileage with Odyssey is going to vary, just depending on, what type of gameplay style you kind of lean towards with Mario. There are a lot of positive elements here. I love the music. I love New Dunk City and the throwback part of that level. I love it. And the music is great as well. So not hating on Odyssey, but I'm just saying like in terms of like 3D Mario games, you know, I just didn't have that same, it didn't grab me like the other Mario games did. But anyway, yo, that is going to wrap up my 35 years of Mario. You can kind of say this is a retrospective or just me highlighting my favorite games from the plumber. So, you know, I want to hear from you guys. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite games are. What games should I check out from Mario? Let me know what your memories are with Mario. Let me know down below. Remember, this video was totally unscripted. I just literally hopped on my mic and just started talking. So please forgive me if this doesn't sound as polished as my reviews. I am working on a couple reviews for the 3D All-Stars, so 64, Sunshine Galaxy. All those reviews are currently in progress, so you guys should see those soon, hopefully. But with that being said, thank you all for taking some time to listen and watch this video. I will see you all next time, and you all have a wonderful day. And yo, shout out to Mario. 35 years in the gaming industry is amazing. So see you guys next time.